Okay, y'all, so I'm here with another review. I am reviewing season 5 of The Real Housewives of Dallas. Now, just to let y'all know, I am all caught up on The Real Housewives of Dallas. I have watched every season, I have watched every episode, so I'm very caught up. I am pissed that Leanne is not here. I'm upset about it. Now, I know the whole comment she made last season about Kary and the whole Mexican thing or whatever, and she was out of pocket. Out of pocket, out of pocket, out of pocket. But let's be real. Before I actually get into the episode, I just want to say this about Kary. I do not like Kary because I feel like last season she came on specifically to start drama with Leanne. She came in on the episode. She came in saying that she had a problem with Leanne because of something that Leanne said to one of her friends. So I'm not trying to excuse what Leanne did, but I feel like Kary, you did not keep that same energy this fucking episode with Brandy. You're full of shit. You just did not like Leanne and you wanted any reason for her to be off the show. You tried every reason, every resource possible to get her off the show and to get it so that nobody liked her. That is a fact of the matter. Let's get into the damn episode already. So it's like I said, it's quarantine. You got all of the girls on FaceTime with each other, whatever. You got my boo Deandra. I love Deandra because I loved her storyline of her with her mom's business and stuff like that. But she's over there with Mama D getting ready. So we first get into Cameron. Now, Cameron is not my favorite person. I really don't care for Cameron, to be quite honest. She doesn't really bring anything to me to the show personally. I don't. She doesn't. Kary, I mean, to me, Cameron has yet to have a real storyline yet on this show. She does not have a real storyline. Cameron's storyline is always based off of everybody else's storyline. She never has her own individual thing going on in her life. She never does. That's why this whole scene we spent about, her dog had died or whatever, the one that she always had died. And I didn't laugh at her crying because I have a dog too. So if my dog was to die, I'd probably be broken up about it too. So I'm not going to judge her about that. But then she has like a new dog or whatever, and she sent the dog away to be trained. I'm not gonna spend long on her part. That they bring the dog over, the trainer brings the dog back and pretty much tells her like this is the list of how you have to do everything. You could tell her husband is like kind of fed up with her for real. I don't want to say he's fed up like he's completely done with her, but you can tell he's kind of like fed up with the antics of her, like the high maintenance of it all. It gotta stop. She's really fucking annoying. But whatever. The dog has a schedule. Don't really care about that. Then we get over to Brandy, okay? Brandy, we're at Brandy's house. Brandy is getting the slip and slide together ready with her kids, and Stephanie is making her way over. I love Stephanie and Brandy's friendship. I do. I've liked this since the very first season. Even when they got into it in season 2, I was really happy when they made up. I like their dynamic together. I think it's awesome when you can not only have a friend, but like the fact that their husbands are best friends. I like that dynamic. I do. As far as Brandy is concerned, I never really had a problem with Brandy. She doesn't bother me. Stephanie does not bother me. I don't necessarily like or dislike them. They just don't really bother me too much, you know? So, like I said, Stephanie comes over with the kids or whatever. And it's funny because production had asked Stephanie in the confessional, like, so what is the, like, protocol about giving hugs, because her and Brandy hugged each other when they seen each other. She's like, look, before y'all go on Twitter and y'all start cursing this out, we all have been tested 1,010 times for COVID, so just calm down. I do believe her, so whatever on that. They go ahead and they do the slip and slide. Then we switch over to Deandra, okay? And Deandra's going to see her mama. Deandra, you looked amazing. You looked amazing. The hair, the everything. She was giving me 70s, like real chic, real bold, real editorial, like 70s type of look, like with the makeup and the hair. Sickening. Looked so good, okay? She went to go see her mama. Now her mama told what they was both her and her mom was in a confessional, and her mom talked about how she pretty much gave Deandra $100,000, which must be nice, okay, to pretty much help, I guess, like continue her business. On the last reunion, she talked about how she had finally got her first paycheck, but then I guess once the pandemic kind of hit, it kind of slowed things down a little bit. So her mom was like, well, I actually seen her putting in the work, so I actually went ahead and I gave her the 100K to keep her business going, okay? Then we meet Tiffany, okay? Tiffany ends up coming over to Mama D's house, okay? And, they pretty much tell us, that Tiffany is an anesthesiologist, and Deandra knows her through her mother, because her mother was like, I know this real excellent anesthesiologist. Like, she's amazing. I like her so much. So yeah, they do that. Her once they sit down, they have a conversation about how Cameron is having a garage sale. Now they said that they don't know garage sales to be had in their like town or whatever, and they don't even know that it's legal. My question is, why do you care? Why do y'all care so much whether or not she has a garage sale? That's her business. Who cares? Okay. Um, so at this point, this is the whole let's see who Tiffany knows game. Okay, so Deandra's pretty much going down the list of like, do you know this person? Like, do you know Stephanie? She's like, yeah, I know Stephanie because me and Travis were like on the same board, so I know Stephanie. I think she knows just about everybody. Not everybody, but she knows just about everybody. So then we get to the whole thing about the Brandy video. Now I didn't know about this until like a couple of days ago while I was doing my research, on the season before it started. But apparently 3 years ago, but it just resurfaced earlier last year. Is that Brandy did a video, an Instagram video, where she was in the car and pretty much like she was talking about the fact that her eyes were squinty, and she pretty much was like mimicking, Asian people, like using the voice and pretty much trying to be funny about it or whatever. And so I had read that she went to a wellness center, but I didn't understand why. But when Stephanie gets over to the house after they're done slipping sliding or whatever, she's talking to Stephanie and she tells her pretty much how she went to a wellness center because she pretty much wanted to commit suicide because of pretty much all of the things that she was getting in from like social media, and she felt like nobody really would want to talk to her or anything. Now I'll say this. Girl, you was wrong. You was dead ass wrong for that. But I don't want the girl to kill herself, like I said on Twitter. She's wrong, but I don't want the girl to kill herself, okay? Um, she apologized. I appreciate the fact that she did not make excuses. Well, on the show she didn't make excuses because online that's something completely different because I don't know when those tweets were from, but I definitely seen tweets because somebody just added me in the article of people calling you out about it and you saying in your tweets that, oh, well, if you can't take it as comedy, then that's on you. But I don't know if all of that happened, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what I see on the show. On the show, it seems like she's taking accountability, like she's admitting that she's wrong or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so that's that. So then, oh, I also want to say about that. Deandra is sitting across the table. I didn't like how, like, I understand that Brandy is your friend, Deandra, but I don't like how she was sitting across the table from Tiffany, who is an Asian woman, and is trying to pretty much tell her, like, no, 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 she didn't mean it like that. No, she's a great person. And she gonna say, I mean, she's a Christian. What does that mean? Like somebody said, like a lot of people were saying, I just find it funny that all of y'all got something so bad. Y'all all got something to say, right? About sorry, not that y'all got something to say. It's not surprising to me that a lot of y'all don't really have much to say about what Brandy said, and ain't that too taken aback. Because if I'm pretty sure when I'm right when I say almost all of y'all are Republicans. Are y'all not? A lot of y'all, are y'all not a lot of y'all Republicans? Are a lot of y'all not Trump supporters? Fuck the Republicans. Are a lot of y'all not Trump supporters? I bet y'all are. I bet y'all are. I guarantee y'all are, okay? And so I just find it funny that like you could support Trump and his bigoted ass and his racist ass. Whatever. Let's move on. So then we go to Cameron's garage sale. Everybody shows up. Kary, who is like literally the bane of my existence. I do not like Kary. I do not like her. I do not like her at all. And I wish she was not on this show at all. And we're going to get to it at the end about her not holding Brandy to the same standard that she did Leanne and everybody else on this fucking show as well, okay? So yeah, so then Stephanie shows up. Everybody except Brandy shows up pretty much, and Stephanie tells everybody, how she's gonna have a pool party and how she wants to invite everybody. Now Tiffany, Stephanie is like, oh yeah, Tiffany, you can come. I know Brandy would be excited to meet you. Tiffany's face was like, I bet. I do want to say also, bravo Andy and bravo period. I hope that y'all did not specifically pick Tiffany as a housewife because of the situation with Brandy. I hope that that was done, that y'all picked her before that. Because if y'all picked her just because of this incident, y'all are just as trash as Brandy, if not more. Y'all actually more trash than her. Just saying, okay? Um, so yeah, so then we go and we get to Tiffany's. Like, her house is beautiful. Her closet, sickening. Sickening, okay? We meet her and her husband, and she has twins, okay, twin girls. Her husband, Daniel, she met him in the club when she, at the age of 23. And she's pretty much like a female Doogie Howser, like she said, except better, because she graduated Cornell University at 19, and she graduated with her MD at 23. Work, bitch, work, okay? Um, so then we get to the party, okay? Let me see how much time I got left. Oh, I'm not really gonna go to that. Okay, so then we get to the party, okay? So we get to the pool party, and Brandy is worried about going, okay? And she should be worried. She should be worried. I feel like the reason why Brandy is worried, it's not because she really feels bad or anything. It's because last season, okay, on the second, what I think it was maybe the second part of the reunion, or third part, whatever the last part of that reunion was, everybody, and I mean everybody, including Brandy, dragged Leanne for what she said. Rightfully so, but y'all dragged the shit out of Leanne. Something serious, especially you, Brandy. So now you are terrified. That's what it really is. I feel like, are you sorry? Probably, but you're really scared more so of the backlash from it, because you've seen how hard people went on Leanne, not just on social media, but how the cast pretty much reacted to Leanne, and you was terrified that the same thing was going to happen to you. But you want to know what? If you really want to take accountability, you need to step into the fire and take everything that comes with what the fuck you said. It's just that simple, okay? So, um, so yeah, so then we get to the party, okay? Jen ends up coming. Oh, I said Jen. Cameron brings her friend named Jen. I'm gonna assume Jen is probably gonna be like a friend of the show or something. That's the only thing I could assume. She seemed like she was like trying to get in on the action a little bit anyway. So then they all sit down for dinner or whatever, and there's this really random part where they all talking about their vaginas, and then Brandy and Jen gets up and goes into the pantry to go look at their vaginas. I'm sorry, like, is that a white people thing? I'm being honest, because that's, why are you showing her your vagina? I'm not showing a woman her vagina unless I'm like presenting it to her to do what needs to be done. Outside of that, why are you doing it? So anyway, so they come back to the table or whatever, and so Kary, bum ass, I do not like Kary, and I'm gonna keep saying it until I can't no more. Kary get up and she's like, "Oh, we're all gonna talk about the positives and the negatives, COVID or whatever." She said that the positive is that she got to stay home with her kids. The negative is that she lost her business, because we all know that Kary ain't got her own money, okay? She ain't got no money of her own. She living off her husband, okay? So she tried to do a little jewelry line, and it was going good, but guess what? When the pandemic hit, guess what? That's not a necessity, boo-boo. So guess what? Her company went, okay? But you want to know what? I'm so sorry that your company went down, but guess what? Unlike, I don't know how many damn Americans, guess what? At least your husband still had the money. At least regardless, your whole company went away. And guess what? You still had a roof over your head. Guess what? You still have food in your belly and on your table. So feel bad, but don't feel bad. It's not gonna take much for you to redo a business once everything gets back open. Who I feel bad for is the real small business owners out in these streets. That's who I feel bad for. And that's just that. Even when it comes to Deandra, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad for Deandra, because you have a mother that can give you $100,000. How bad y'all really want me to feel for y'all? I don't. Okay, so that's that. Then we get to Deandra, and Deandra talks about how she went to go see a shaman and how it's helping her to become more calm, more cool, and more relaxed. And then we get to Tiffany, and Tiffany talks about how, her kids told her when COVID first happened that they were happy that COVID was a thing, because, she was able to spend more time at home with them, and it kind of made her, kind of feel bad. But then she went on this thing pretty much talking about how, I really do have patients, that have succumbed and have died from this disease. And in her confessional, she pretty much talks about, how I don't understand people saying that it's not real. I don't want to hear the, oh, it's a Democrat thing, oh, it's a hoax thing. It's a real thing. She was like, it's a fact. Like the sky is blue, it's a fact. I said, thank you. And you will know why she said that? Because almost every single last one of y'all sitting at the tables, I guarantee y'all, the majority of y'all is Republicans. And clearly, Texas as a whole, from what I understand, didn't really give a about about COVID and about restrictions, about none of that. Y'all really didn't give a fuck. So I'm glad that we have an actual doctor on this show who can say, do not pull that shit around me. Like she said, if somebody said that to me, we just can't be friends, because what is there to talk about? So I'm here. I love her so far. I am here for Dr. Tiffany. That's what I'm called, because she's Dr. Tiffany as far as I'm concerned. I'm here for Dr. Tiffany, okay? So After we get there, after she says that, then we get to Brandy. And Brandy says, you know, well, I want to say, I want to back up before COVID. In early 2020, I didn't start off with a great year. I said some things that I didn't really mean, and I'm just so sorry. And, you know, I didn't think anybody would want to be my friend. I didn't think anybody would like me. I'm so sorry. So I went to a wellness center, okay, because I just needed the help. And so everybody, Deandra, you not one teardrop. Deandra, you didn't wipe nothing. Deandra, like, girl, there was nothing there. There was nothing there. So cut the shit. There wasn't nothing there. And Tiffany said, to me, no shade, but it gives me a kid who hit somebody and then that kid hit them back and now you're crying. I agree. I'm not trying to say that Brandy is not sincere in her apology, but you gotta understand from like her point of view, although I'm not Asian, I'm just talking about like as a person of color point of view, it does come off very like typical white woman shenanigans. Like you get caught in some shit and then you want to pretty much, it's like you're taking accountability, but at the same time it's like you're kind of playing victim at the same time, because all of the, oh well, I went to the wellness center and all this other, it just really comes off like you want people to be sympathetic to you when that's not the situation that you're in. Nobody needs to be sympathetic to anything that you're going on. You put yourself in this situation, so it does come off like you did some shit you ain't have no business doing, and now you want to use WWT, which is white woman tears, and I drink that for breakfast. I literally drink white woman tears for breakfast. It gives me fuel in the morning. That's literally what I do. So I don't know, Brandy. It's a little shaky for me. It's a little shaky for me. And I also, like I said, can we get to Kary now? Can we please get to Kary? Okay. Before we get to Kary, and for real, where it definitely felt like it was bullshit is because as soon as Tiffany said, okay, well, whenever you get a second Brandy, me and you gonna have to have a one-on-one. She could tell, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this, and then runs outside into the back. It's like, so the minute the person you were actually offending, because this is the thing, I'm gonna get to it at the end when what's her name is talking to her about it. But Kary ends up coming into the back or whatever and trying to say, no, it's okay. And thank you, production. Thank you so much, production. Production said, Kary, what is the difference between what Leanne did last season and what Brandy did? Can you explain the difference? And she's like, well, when Leanne did it to be malicious, and she did it to not be right or whatever. And Brandy, on the other hand, Brandy, she didn't mean it like that. It was in tongue in cheek. It was a joke. And no, Kary, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. And you, ooh. You prove everybody's point when we say at the end of the day, yes, Leanne was wrong. She was. But at the end of the day, let's be real, Kary. You did not like Leanne and you wanted her off the show and you wanted everybody to dislike her. That is a fact of the matter. And what pisses me off, Leanne, like I said, Leanne was wrong. But more than anything, I wish Leanne would have never did that, because all it did was give what Kary was saying credence. And it pisses me off because you low-key gave that bitch some ammo. And you shouldn't have. If you would have never fucking said that, Leanne, everybody would be able to see through Kary's bullshit. Kary is full of shit. That same energy that you had with Leanne, you should have kept that same energy with Brandy. Period. The real reason that you didn't is because you're friends with Brandy. You like Brandy. And it wasn't specifically about your culture and your race. That's why. But it shouldn't fucking matter. She said it and it was wrong. So, and it's not just for Kary. I'm specifically talking about Kary because she pisses me off. But it's every single last one of y'all. All of y'all went in. Every single last one of y'all went in on Leanne last season. But I don't see nobody at that table going in on Brandy. Everybody's sitting there and crying and trying to defend the fuck out of her. It's because y'all like her. It's the same thing with the Real Housewives of Potomac. Nobody wants to hold Monique accountable because y'all quote unquote like her. Fuck that shit. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Period. The only person who probably should have got up and checked on her is Stephanie. That's because that's her best friend. The rest of y'all should have sat your asses down. She needs to sit and soak in the mistakes that she made. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Y'all are all full of shit on this show. Y'all are all full of shit. Everybody's full of shit as far as I'm concerned with the situation. So then Tiffany goes outside when with Brandy or whatever, to pretty much confront her about the situation and pretty much tell her, like, I hear everything that you're saying, but I just pretty much the whole point of what Tiffany was doing is to pretty much put context to why that really was offensive. Because in our reality, Brandy, I'm pretty sure during this whole encounter, you probably have yet to actually encounter an actual Asian person who would actually, I want to say who would actually be offended, but I highly doubt that during your whole time of this whole thing that you probably actually really ran into an Asian person and seen how something like that can truly affect them. So I'm here for Tiffany, sitting in Brandy's face and telling her, when I was younger, okay, I had to come over to this country, okay, pretty much not knowing a lick of English, And do you want to know what people did when I was in school? What you did on that video. And that's why you're wrong. That is why you're wrong. I think that that's very important, that Brandy sits in front of somebody who is actually affected by that type of shit that's perpetuated. Period. You need to really understand me, not only just hear and see tweets. You need to sit in the face of somebody who that type of rhetoric really does affect them and really does affect their children. Trash, trash, trash. And Brandy is sitting there crying or whatever the case may be. Whatever, cry. Cry, 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 cry. I don't really care. But the point of the matter is, I'm here for Dr. Tiffany. I'm here for it. You need to be held accountable across the board. No excuses. No, oh, she's a great person. Because nobody did that when Leanne was on here. Not an iota person did that. Y'all all said she was a trash ass person. So I need y'all to keep the same energy with Brandy. Let her sit in her mistake. I do not want the girl to kill herself, but let her sit in her shit. Let her sit in her mistake. She was wrong. It is what it is. And guess what? Tiffany is your karma. Tiffany is what you thought everybody on Twitter was coming on your ass. No. You're going to sit here and you're going to listen to how the shit that comes out of your mouth can really, truly affect a real person. I'm here for Dr. Tiffany. Go in and let have, sis. Go in and let have. But y'all get in the comments. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this first episode. I'm out of here. Bye.